Wargaming added the Tier 9 T92E1 and the Tier 10 XM551 Sheridan to the American tech tree with the update 6.7 that went live on January the 15th. Both light tanks feature missiles, so-called ATGM, anti-tank guided missiles. They can be fired out of the main cannon and then guided by the player's mouse or touch display movements. That means these tanks can fire over cover like hills, rocks or around corners if necessary. The German community portal PS13 published a poll asking the community whether they want the ATGM mechanic in game. Yes, no or yes, but very different. 3,525 people participated. 866 voted for yes, 2,165 for no, 494 for yes, but very different. So more than the half, almost 3/4 of the voters were against ATGMs. Wargaming noticed that the tanks were excelling highly and apparently were too strong. The first nerf came with update 6.8 on February the 19th. In regards to the ATGM on both tanks, its penetration got nerfed from 340 to 310 mm, its average damage from 560 to 490 hit points. However, the ATGM mechanic itself remained in the game. However, this apparently was not enough. With update 7.0 going live on June the 17th, ATGM got nerfed directly again. The overall range of the missiles got reduced from 450 meters to 300 meters. The turn speed got nerfed by 25%. Latter means that the missiles now can't turn that sharply anymore. This probably shall prevent the Sheridan and T92E1 just shooting straight down from small hills and hitting targets right underneath in front of them. However, I think this still is not enough. The entire ATGM mechanic is broken, and it will always be. It can't be balanced. All tanks in World of Tanks Blitz, no matter the class, can only hit enemy tanks if they reveal themselves. Because the shell fired from the main gun flies a straight line. It doesn't turn, it just flies until it hits the target, the ground or an obstacle. Yes, there are tanks like this IS-4 or T-62A that have extremely well armored turrets that can hardly be penetrated when they stand perfectly hull down. However, they still have to expose themselves to enemy fire, be it a bounce or an HE hit, whenever they want to fire at enemies. All tanks apply to this basic rule. If you want to shoot the enemy, show yourself. Except for two tanks, Sheridan and T92E1. This rule doesn't apply to them because they have ATGMs that can turn in mid-air. After update 7.0, first voices sounded up that the missiles are balanced now. They might not be broken anymore like when they were introduced in the first place, but they still are OP, and they will always be. As you could see in the clips before, the missiles had no problem with hitting enemies that were hidden behind cover. The Reds couldn't do anything about it because the Sheridan was in cover. Now watch this clip from my perspective. Please forgive my shitty playstyle. Yes, the Sheridan did miss 3 out of 4 missiles, but he hit me with 1, causing more than 500 damage. And all the time I never did even see him. I had no chance to somehow shoot at him. My only chance would have been to just charge him, but then his teammates would have completely destroyed me. These situations are rare, yes, but they happen. And in these situations ATGMs are just completely broken because a tank can damage enemies without even exposing itself. Remember the rule. If you want to shoot the enemy, show yourself. Apparently artillery can't be added to Blitz because of small maps. That's logical reasoning. However, is it that smart to add a tank instead that not just can fire like an artillery, but also can guide its shells, that has a very strong APCR shell, that has spaced armor, that is extremely agile and mobile? This problem can only be fixed by entirely removing ATGMs. If you know a different way of fixing this, please tell me. I doubt there is one. Remove ATGM and T-92E1 and Sheridan will turn into tanks that are strong but balanced vehicles.